Thanks to the research carried out so far, our knowledge of Mars is greater than ever before. However, this does not mean that the red planet doesn't still hide countless secrets that will have to be unraveled in the future. One of the most urgent questions, and one that has persisted for many centuries, is or was Mars host to extraterrestrial life forms? A sensational discovery recently made by the Curiosity rover on the surface of Mars could now help to unravel this cosmic mystery. In today's video, we'll tell you about this unique discovery that's currently keeping experts spellbound. Want to join us on our galactic journey to the greatest mysteries of the universe? Then subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to never miss one of our videos again in the future. Feel free to show us with a thumbs up that we can keep you engaged with the content of our posts. Curiosity's stunning discovery. Since the Curiosity rover landed on the surface of Mars on August 6, 2012, it has covered about 15 miles on the red planet. In the process, the small technical device has been tasked with a wide variety of duties. In addition to taking numerous high-resolution images on the planet's surface, this also includes the precise investigation of its geological composition. As is often the case, the Curiosity rover was recently busy examining a rock sample. Specifically, Curiosity examined clay-rich sedimentary rocks located within a former lake in the Gale crater. Experts assume that the now dried-up body of water was formed when an asteroid hit the surface of the red planet around 3.6 billion years ago. Such clay rock plays a significant role in the investigation of the planet, since clay normally forms when rock minerals decay after contact with water. It can provide important clues about the existence of potential life forms. This is not only due to the fact that clay is an excellent natural candidate when it comes to the question of the deposition of microbial fossils. Curiosity collected 2 samples of mudstone, both of which had an age of about 3.5 billion years and were only 1,200 feet apart. In the course of a more detailed analysis, however, the researchers came across an unusual circumstance. One of the clay samples taken contained far fewer clay minerals than the experts had expected, but instead had an unusually high iron dioxide content, the chemical compound that gives Mars its characteristic red color. But what caused this unexpected material composition? Researchers believe it's due to the effects of extremely salty water that once infiltrated the mineral-rich clay layers. This galactic brine eventually destabilized and washed away the corresponding soil layers, thus also obliterating some time-honored traces on the Martian surface. Up to this discovery, terrestrial scientists were still firmly convinced that the structure of the clay minerals on the ground of the former lake in the Gale crater had not changed in millions of years. Now, however, the assumption is obvious that later processes have degraded the corresponding minerals in some places, changing their geological face. The chemical transformation process within the soil sediments is called diagenesis in the technical world. This process could have made possible new life on Mars, although it's possible other hypothetical life forms were extinguished thereby. Scientists are in any case enthusiastic about the brine traces on the planet's surface. According to them, the influx of salty water created suitable chemical basic conditions in order to support the emergence of underground living beings. Finds of this kind therefore help experts immensely in narrowing down the most promising locations in the search for traces of life on the red planet. However, this discovery on Mars is not the only one that has experts in rapt amazement. Another recently discovered circumstance also suggests that the celestial body is home to more than just dust and rocks. Methane on Mars. In the course of its mission so far, the Curiosity rover has already succeeded in detecting several astonishing methane eruptions on the red planet. The existence of the hydrocarbon on Mars, in turn, gives rise to the most exciting theories. After all, this organic compound has predominantly biological origins on Earth. About 2 years ago, Curiosity recorded an incomparably strong methane eruption on Mars, which exceeded the highest of its kind to that date by a factor of 3. A a spectrometer on board the ESA space probe Mars Express was able to detect the first traces of methane in the thin atmosphere of the celestial body more than 15 years ago. This measurement confirmed previous measurement data from terrestrial telescopes beyond doubt for the first time. This discovery, however, was tantamount to a scientific drumbeat. As already briefly mentioned, methane on Earth is largely produced as a result of biological processes. Thus, it's primarily special bacteria that release methane into the atmosphere after utilizing carbon. Consequently, the question arose in the ranks of researchers whether such microscopic life forms on Mars are also responsible for the observed methane emissions. The fact that the corresponding emissions on Mars are temporarily limited phenomena seems particularly interesting. For example, the Curiosity rover measured a concentration of 21 methane molecules per billion air particles there in 2019. A short time later, however, the proportion of methane molecules in the air was only 1. By comparison, the corresponding value on our terrestrial home is about 1,800 methane molecules. Unfortunately, researchers have not yet been able to determine the galactic source of these mysterious methane eruptions. Thus, experts cannot say with certainty whether the observed phenomena are due to biological or geological processes. In addition to the influence of microorganisms, it's also conceivable that the methane on the red planet is produced by volcanoes, the decomposition of dust particles, or other geochemical processes. Is life possible on Mars? When we look at the face of Mars today, we see a barren desert planet that could not be more hostile to life. Indeed, the red planet is located just beyond the habitable zone of the solar system. Specifically, this means the distance range from its host star in which water can exist in a permanently liquid form on a celestial body. Despite all these natural circumstances, there are increasing indications that Mars had a completely different face in the past. The measurement results recorded so far suggest that the currently extremely thin Martian atmosphere was significantly denser billions of years ago. In addition, most experts agree that the surface of the planet was once adorned by rich water deposits in permanently liquid form. Therefore, many scientists consider it conceivable that the red planet could still be home to extraterrestrial life forms. However, according to the researchers, these would not have much in common with the prototypical aliens and Martians that we regularly see in science fiction films. In fact, they would not be higher life forms, but rather tiny microbes. In addition to the organisms already presented, which are possibly responsible for the methane deposits on Mars, researcher David S. McKay came across unusual structures in a Martian meteorite. The scientist interpreted the residues found as traces of fossil bacteria. However, the rest of the expert world doubts this thesis still, since such traces can also be formed by purely chemical processes. A major problem that arises in the search for life forms on Mars is terrestrial contamination. In the course of the explanations, it cannot be ruled out that the living beings potentially found might actually have a terrestrial origin. This problem arose during the investigation of the Nakla meteorite in 1999. Although various amino acids were discovered on the boulder originating from Mars, they probably originated on Earth. According to our understanding, the existence of liquid water represents the basic building block for the emergence of living beings. Since the red planet today has only an extremely marginal atmosphere, scientists are convinced that no permanent liquid water can currently exist on Mars. However, researchers have discovered some indications that the incident solar rays at the Martian poles could lead to the formation of microscopic amounts of water there. However, the situation was quite different a few billion years ago. Due to the denser atmosphere and the higher average temperatures at the time, Mars had in all probability gigantic oceans. These galactic seas could have covered up to 75% of the planet's surface. However, the extremely high salt content of the former Martian oceans raises doubts as to whether the waters also harbored living creatures. However, there are a few microorganisms on our planet, such as halobacterium, for which such a high salt content is actually necessary for survival. A few years ago, experts were once again thrown into turmoil when the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter sent images to Earth in which researchers discovered erosion gullies that had lengthened significantly over the past 3 years. In fact, the corresponding traces could be due to the influence of percolating liquid water. Currently, the possible existence of subglacial salt lakes at the red planet's south pole is also being investigated. The presence of these water accumulations is suggested by the data collected by the ESA's Mars Express orbiter. The corresponding region is to be investigated in detail as part of future Mars exploration. Now it's your turn. What do you think about the exciting discoveries on Mars? Do you believe that the red planet is home to extraterrestrial life forms? We're already looking forward to your comments. Please also have a look at the videos that we have linked for you in the credits. Thanks for your great interest. Take care, and we'll see you next time.